Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Evan and this is Sense or Sense. And today I'm bringing you an update about the Fidelity 10 business day hold that we've been talking about on this channel for at least the last 9 to 10 months now. Now this is an important update. What I want to do is I want to summarize for a minute or two what's been going on over the last 9 to 10 months for those that are new to the channel, new to this issue with Fidelity. Then I want to tell you what they've discussed over the last several months about what's going on with regards to possibly reducing that hold and what the problem is. And then I'm going to discuss the latest update from them. So stay tuned to the entire video. There's going to be lots of information that's important. The big thing about this is it's been going on since last August. They had a fraud issue last August with a bunch of people depositing money and then essentially withdrawing the money very quickly within a day or two. And those checks were bouncing, and they were essentially completely fraudulent, and they were hit with quite a bit, millions of dollars worth. And they immediately put everything on lockdown in the beginning of September, end of August of 2024, and they just placed they didn't tell anybody this, but they placed a blanketed 16 business day hold on any checks coming into Fidelity and any deposits that you were pulling into Fidelity from an external account. And so they didn't really explain that. And the biggest issue I have is, and I've stated this in a lot of comments because people ask me all the time, well, what's the problem with you having an extended hold? That's no different than some banks. My issue is that they never made any disclosures to people. They weren't transparent about what they did about this with people's accounts. I've had accounts with Fidelity for well over 30 years. I didn't get any kind of email, any call, any mailed document, nothing. And I've gotten no updates from them except for the ones that I've actually reached out via chat or phone and actually gotten. So about the beginning of the year, they started issuing a disclaimer when you were trying to make deposits or collect money or deposit checks, saying that the checks could be held up to 10 business days. And ultimately, this reduced it from 16 business days down to 10 business days, which was a step in the right direction. But I was getting mixed information from Fidelity reps on why they were not reducing it back to normal. And basically, from what I can understand, is there were third-party banks involved. They swept money out to third-party banks, and then the third-party banks were saying, whoa, we need to hold these funds for anywhere between 3 and 7 business days based on if they're in-state, local, or out-of-state, or even international checks. And it was causing Fidelity to maintain the 10 business day hold. So they were doing their 3 days on top of the maximum of 7 days that the banks were requiring them to do. And then they, when you requested the funds, they would sweep it back in after 10 business days and you had complete access to those funds. So that was my understanding of what was going on. I got some mixed information from Fidelity this year, going into March, April. They were blaming the third-party banks, like I said, for the extended holds. And they said we're working in the right direction. There isn't as much fraud any longer, so we should be able to get back to more of a normal hold time frame of 2 to 3 business days, hopefully by the end of the summer. That's what they were saying in March, April, and May time frame. Well, I just reached out to them a few days ago, late last week, in the last full week of June of 2025, and this is what they're saying now. Let me read you what I asked. I said, I would like to know why the 10 business day hold is still in place at Fidelity. Is it a third-party banking issue or an internal Fidelity issue? The response was, at this time, deposits into Fidelity accounts have a 10 business day collection period. During that time, you are able to place trades and invest with the deposited funds. Once the funds are settled, you will be able to use the funds for withdrawals or making payments. So they didn't throw the third-party banks underneath the bus this time, which I think is interesting. And I'm going to clarify this a little bit more in the next comment that I come out with. But basically they're saying that, they're reiterating the same thing that they've done for the last several months as far as they're not going to reduce the 10 business day hold at this time. They don't have any reason to believe that that's going to be reduced in the near future. And it's clearly stated that this is very legalese on Fidelity's behalf, that they're telling their reps to tell people this, and it's scripted, and that's been the case for quite some time. I pushed the matter a little bit, and I said, stating the facts does not answer the question above that I was asking about the third-party banks. I again ask if it's a third-party bank or if it's a Fidelity internal issue. And the response I got from that was, and by the way, it was quite delayed. You could tell they were trying to maybe ask a supervisor or whatnot. It was probably 5 minutes before they actually answered. The answer was, Fidelity has made the decision to keep the collection period in place to make sure that funds being deposited can clear within a few days. Banks can sometimes reverse the deposits if the check bounces due to insufficient funds or fraud. There can also be cases where bank transfers or ACH can be reversed in cases of errors or disputes. So essentially, that sounds like another script, but that's a new part of their script. So it sounds to me like Fidelity has made an internal decision whether the third-party banks are holding the assets or not. Fidelity's going to hold it for further review, and they're going to continue to hold it. So they're going to continue to have their 10 business day hold, whether the third-party banks tell them or not that they need to. And I think they've just decided that in order to squash the fraud altogether, this is the way they're going to have to handle it. Now, I'm okay with this. It's annoying, but a lot of local banks will hold your funds, especially if they're out of state or new deposits or large deposits, for up to 10 business days as well. Again, I find it annoying that I have to reach out to Fidelity to find this information out. Why they can't push some information to us via email or text message or some other source is, I just don't understand it. So that's what annoys me about the whole situation. And so I went on, the guy went on to say, Fidelity wants to ensure the funds are fully settled before allowing unrestricted use of the funds. And then I said, okay, so another rep told me that by the end of the summer, these would likely return to a more normal 2 to 3 business day hold time. And the last response I got was, at this time, there are no new updates regarding the collection period policy for deposited funds. So there you go. They're not necessarily throwing the third-party banks underneath the bus, but they're also no longer saying that by the end of the summer that this could possibly be completely over and back to 2 to 3 business day holds. So I think what this says is that Fidelity has decided internally, maybe in combination with the third-party banks, that they're going to continue to hold these funds for 10 business days, whether the third-party banks tell them they need to hold it for an extended period of time or not. Fidelity is going to make the internal decision to hold all funds for 10 business days to make sure that they're protecting themselves. Now, you can see that they're allowing you to trade and to actually earn interest on those deposits. So, and that was stated in the online chat that I had. So if you're still having problems with the money not being held and not being able to be used for anything internally at Fidelity, you should probably reach out to their fraud team, contact their fraud team, talk to someone and figure out if there's something else going on in your account. Because I've had no issues with being able to deposit checks at a third-party bank and then ACH that money over to Fidelity from the third-party bank. So let me be really clear here. The way to avoid this 10 business day hold, as I've stated in my other videos, which will be linked, is to deposit funds into a third-party bank and then push the money from that third-party bank into Fidelity. Do not deposit funds via the Fidelity app or in branch via a check. Also, do not try to pull funds or request funds from Fidelity from your external third-party bank. That will create a 10 business day hold in those situations. So use your third-party bank to deposit the checks and then push the money over to Fidelity via a request at, say, Chase or Bank of America or whatever bank you bank at. So that is the new update as of the end of June of 2025. I'll continue to bring more information to you guys. I appreciate all the recent support. One of the first videos I did on this now has over 20,000 views, which is astonishing to me. And I would love for you guys to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Thanks again.